Hello and welcome
to This Movie Sucks, possibly soon to be rebranded.
Yeah, we're jumping ship on that title. We'll be moving on soon. You'll hear about it.
Or
Today,
you might not.
Or we'll cancel the show. Ran out of funding. Today we have a very special film to talk about.
One of Josh's favorites.
Josh's favorite movie of all time. He just told us that.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you give us a little breakdown of it, since it was your idea to watch, Josh, and you really put us through this difficult time.
This experience.
Things, a horrifying sensation that'll rip apart your soul.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, which would be everyone, we are talking about the movie Things, because that movie, it's more like an odyssey, I'd say. It's an adventure for
Quite
everyone.
like the Iliad.
Yeah. You know, I think that's really the only thing you can compare it to is the Iliad. It's as if Homer himself had written it. It's about a few Canadian gentlemen, and
Is that true?
yeah.
How are we supposed to know that?
Because they're Canadian.
I would have assumed they were Michiganders, but close enough.
Exactly. Big.
I think their
Michiganders.
beer was Canadian too.
They drink Canadian beer here.
Well, that's because they're weird. Wait, they drink Canadian beer here?
Yeah, they,
Just them.
the residents
You
of
know
this
what?
country.
It gave me American movie vibes. You remember
American movie was good.
that? No, but it's a joke. American movies making fun of
Things
that type
was
of
not a
filmmaking.
joke.
Are you certain?
But you get what I'm saying, though.
I do,
Like,
yeah.
it was that type of crew making things who
Right,
thought they were
right.
doing a good job, but they
Yeah.
were making a pile of slop.
Listen. Positives for this movie, okay? I will say there were some decent practical effects.
Not really.
Listen, the
It
whole
looked like they had a pillowcase with sticks in it, and they were doing like a marionette show with bloody, like that was supposed to be like.
Do you remember when they opened the closet and the dude's there, but he's like a pile of goo with a skull and an eyeball, and he's like, "I'm still alive, guys."
Sounds vaguely familiar.
It was terrible, but the practical
I was gonna
effects.
say any amount of goodness from the effects was ruined by the line, "I'm still alive, guys."
And then we had another positive, my personal favorite moment in the film, because Jack didn't get it at all, and it was hilarious.
I still don't understand that. I would really like it to be explained to me.
There's nothing to explain.
What
It's
do you
stupid.
get when you have children with a bag lady? Paper children.
I can't see anything. I'll pick this one.
Okay, and I still need it explained to me. Where's the joke?
There really isn't one. There's no joke.
Because
Because
Bag ladies give you
she's made of
paper
bags,
bags.
so your children are going to be half bag.
I didn't say the joke was
What?
good. I
That
said
doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
First of all,
said-
a bag lady.
It's so
I thought
stupid
it meant, like,
that you didn't even understand it was a joke.
I still don't.
Yeah, I mean, usually when you're referencing a bag lady, it means like homeless or something.
You are?
Or the bagger at a store.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well,
Or
that's
like,
what the joke is referencing. You still didn't get it.
but
Wait, the
no,
homeless
you
woman?
don't have paper
Houseless?
children. It doesn't make any sense.
Because the bag lady hands you paper
They
bags.
use plastic most of the time, first of all, so it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
So you're saying that the joke should have been plastic children?
No, it shouldn't have been.
It shouldn't have
written.
been said.
It
No
shouldn't
one
have been
should have-
spoken aloud into this realm.
You can write this stuff, George, but you can't speak it.
Someone should have stopped them.
Listen, these are Canadian men, all right? They drink beer and they eat
This is
bread
what happens
sandwiches.
when you don't have a strong government, a strong empire. They get into things like this.
bread snack sandwiches with no toppings, just bread.
Anyways, go on with this
I went
horrific.
into this film expecting, take notes, really figure out what's good, what's bad. I didn't write a single thing. It was bad. It opens with a nude woman falling from the sky onto a trampoline. We never see her again.
She fell from the sky?
I believe so.
No, I'm pretty sure she was just in the basement.
What? The basement trampoline?
She had a mask on.
She had a mask?
Yeah, yeah. She had like a bird mask or
It was a
something.
devil mask.
Devil mask, something
Oh.
weird. She did come
we
out
watch
of nowhere.
The same movie?
Wait, it didn't. I don't remember her. I don't remember how she got there, but she was down there.
It just opened that way,
It
didn't
just
it?
Yeah.
opened with her and the guy in the basement. What
Only
movie did you watch?
only redeemable scene of the whole film.
Was the naked lady?
Yeah. Everything else could have been.
It did
better.
occasionally cut to Amber Lynn in a
Right.
in a
Oh yeah,
news
she was actually
studio
good.
talking about.
A news studio.
I don't know what
yeah.
she was talking
She
about.
was a
She was-
reporter.
Talking about, or trying to talk about the events of the film, but in like the most unrelated way possible.
It felt like an
Yeah.
acid trip.
Yeah.
My
It
personal,
did, honestly. Yeah.
Right.
thing that I really liked about the movie was that there was like 2% actual
Dialogue.
well,
Like,
not
well,
dialogue,
yes,
but
but-
like recorded sound in the movie. 90% of it was all ADR and done after the fact.
In
So
the-
it was like a guy talking, and then you hear.
I really think by the time it came to do the ADR, the guy was like, "This movie is. There's no point. I might as well try to make it
was
funny."
trying.
Didn't you say that he lost the original audio?
Yes, they did.
So it's
lose
hard
the
to
audio.
actually judge this movie on any real merits because they lost
I mean,
50%.
pretty sure I could watch it muted and come away the same way.
I just think at the point where they lost that and then he tried to do all the ADR himself or whatever he did.
Yeah, was it one man trying to
as
voice
soon
everyone?
as he listened to it
It
back.
was a very small cast. I believe it was the director, Barry J. Gillis, who basically does everything.
Right.
And it might have been like one or two other people.
As
But
soon as they heard that back, they should have scrapped the entire thing and never made a movie. Like,
I mean, they had all the footage, you know?
but all they made, the sum of the parts was worse than nothing have ever been done at all. You know what I mean? Like,
What hath God wrought?
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it was just.
Well, do you guys remember in the movie, like, they discover the weird ant creatures, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's weird. Then they go downstairs and drink beer for like a half an hour and do nothing about it.
Hey, well, you
Right,
never
the
know.
movie was shite regardless.
It was too late
but-
to call the exterminator. They might as well hang out.
Because they found a tape deck in
That's
the
why I
freezer.
assumed they were Midwesterners, because they just saw a giant bug in their house and went back to drinking light
Do
beer.
you guys remember the tape deck
They were
in the
in the
freezer?
freezer?
Yeah, he just pulls it out and then goes, huh.
He's like, oh, must be a haunted tape. And then bug creature.
All right, you never finished explaining what this movie is. Like,
What? I don't think there's anything else.
It's an experience, Jack.
okay, when was it made?
1989.
89.
Was it 89 or 86?
I'm pretty sure I said 86 over and over again the other day.
The producer's knocking. I think we've run out of film.
Oh, am I tapping on that?
Oh
Whoops.
my rookie move.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of amateurs here in the studio, just so everyone knows. But I'll try to leave as quick as I can.
We'll cut that out.
here's
So,
hoping.
anyways,
Technically, everyone but Josh is an
Movie was-
amateur after 5.
movie was horrible. Movie was bad.
Bad movie.
Should have not been made. Everyone should be ashamed.
See, I disagree. I think there's some lessons to be learned in things. And,
Don't trust Josh's movie recommendations.
yeah, that's a lesson. You can take that away. I think there was some effective practical effects that were shot poorly. I think, you remember when the guy gets his hand cut off?
Or kind
And Evil
of.
Dead 2.
No.
I tried to block a lot of it out.
I know it all just
I like the mullet guy
flowed
with
together.
the mustache.
That was Barry J. Gillis.
He was
Yep.
pretty sweet.
What was the budget? 35 grand?
If you take a few zeros off of that.
$35.
Well, I was just wondering, like, I hope it was $35 given what they ended up with.
There were some decent practical effects, like the hand cut off thing was decent. There was a guy who was like supposed to be dead and rotting or something, and he looked
Milton?
all right.
He looked fine to me.
No, I mean, yeah. It was just that they were shooting on VHS, on video, and that looks horrible in and of itself.
On VHS?
Not VHS, on video. It was like, there's a
film.
name. I'm not gonna say it because I'll have to bleep it. But in the '90s, it was basically what started to happen is
Wait, say it and bleep it because I don't know what you're talking about.
It was called. Maybe do work.
Yeah.
It was called Shot on Video. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because in the '90s.
Now they can learn too. They ought to.
Yeah, consumer grade cameras and equipment started to be available to everyone. So it wasn't just major studios that could shoot stuff.
But it wasn't digital, right? It was on tapes.
It was on film.
Yeah.
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 I mean, it was kind of available in the 80s, but not like the 90s, because in the 90s it started to be a thing that you could shoot your own movies. And then you could get them produced, get them sold on VHS, not in theaters, but sold on VHS in stores, so random people could rent them, could buy them.
And that's how this awful piece of trash.
Well, it started basically started the independent cinema because
this movie did. Are you f***ing kidding me? Sorry.
No, if it were this film, Congress would have made it illegal to film home videos.
Yeah. Someone should have stepped in and shut the whole industry down.
What was this?
Things. It simultaneously started the independent cinema movement.
And shut it down. Was this whole thing like a money laundering scheme?
It was a psyop, wasn't it?
A psyop.
It was the CIA.
It was designed to warp your brain.
It was to get us to hate Canadians.
It worked.
And it was one of the first successes of the early 1990s.
Especially the French ones.
Anyways,
French Canadians.
they're the best kind.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. If
I've met a few. You know who you are.
okay. Well, say you made things. What would you be doing now? / how would you have done away with yourself?
I was gonna say.
I'm just kidding.
I had
Content
made
warning,
things,
unalive.
Yeah,
well,
would
I
you-
wouldn't have made things because I would have put a certain amount of effort into it so that if I had the practical effects that they were working with, I would have done things very differently. First of all,
The
way
monsters
that they,
were like paper mache.
well, the monsters looked okay, but the problem was that they shot the monsters like directly on. There was no hiding in shadows. There was
Well,
no...
they also couldn't really move. They looked
couldn't
really
move at all.
fake when they moved.
They weren't alive.
Yeah.
Jack.
So they couldn't.
Yeah, but they couldn't move it with strings and fish lines and
Yeah,
stuff.
there's ways
You've
to
seen
go about
yeah.
it. Like, for instance,
But when they moved, they were just like ga 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 ga.
Yeah.
Like it was so
did they
bad.
move that?
I think
There's
he's
like
right.
a couple scenes where they had them like slide down the wall or something on like a line of toothpaste. But like, yeah,
What was inside of them?
goo, Jayson, goo.
Yeah, because
Obviously,
there's
goo.
one scene where the dude's like chopping it with a chainsaw, and it just goes on and on and on, and he's like, "Wah!" But it's very clearly like just a puppet, and he's like,
It's just a gooey puppet. Yeah.
But anyways, what I was saying is, like, compare this, and this is cruel, I know, but compare this to Alien, right? Like, that movie was made almost close to a decade before this, right? And Alien was a similar kind of thing. It was all practical effects. There was, they didn't have CGI at the time. The monster was just a guy dressed up in a costume. That movie looks amazing because whenever they show the alien, it's in shadow, They show it for a split second, but it's covered in
they actually
slime,
use lighting.
goo, and they use lighting and
Yeah.
all this crazy stuff. But when they show the creature and things, it's just like
Here it is.
and it goes,
Well, it looks like a child's art project most of the time.
yeah. They do nothing
But-
to hide it.
yeah.
They just. And then there's you remember the scene where they walk into it's like the laundry room or the bathroom or something, and they're like, oh no, there's so
God.
many. And then they cut to like a wide.
You just
and
give me a flashback.
There's
of
like 4 of them, and they're just like sitting on things. They're not moving. They're just
yeah,
like
they're just like
Someone set up their stuffed animals.
and they make weird noises
Yeah.
like that. They
Yes.
just groan.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I hated it so much.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I have respect for independent filmmakers, right?
Not that one.
I don't anymore.
I've lost respect.
They have to earn it again. I know this was made 30 years ago, but I'm hurt.
This is what I'm saying. If they had any kind of budget, which they clearly did, because they had some kind of practical effects money, and they made a whole movie, which, believe it or not, is not cheap, you know?
And it takes a while, and you need to pay people to come back.
Right, exactly. So they had some kind of money, however little it was. And
Unemployment.
they chose to just do nothing with, like, lighting or anything. They were just like...
Yeah, that was, no care put into it at all.
How old was the director?
When they made this?
Yeah,
He looked like he was, like, 28.
that's...
Has he made other
Yeah.
things since?
He
Or
did,
before.
yes. Oh, he did. He
No,
made
no,
it.
he
Hold
dead.
God willing.
on. He made another movie. What the heck was it called? Murder World or something? Hold on.
Sounds right.
It was called... Hold on.
That could be cool. I
We
kind
paid
of like the
money to
idea.
watch
I
this.
kind of like the idea of Murder World.
Murder World?
If it wasn't made by this guy,
It cost me 49 cents to see this film.
I paid $2. So Josh, that's coming out of the
Wicked
show's
World.
budget.
Wicked
No,
World.
it definitely is. I already told him.
That's actually a cool title, though. I'm sure.
Isn't
he
that a Chris
ruined it.
Isaac song? Wait,
So,
no.
Mad World.
Wicked World.
That's not Chris Isaac.
It was
Wicked is
Jules.
Chris Isaac, though.
Wicked World was like Barry J. Gillis wanted to show depression or something, so he made a movie where, and I've like seen most of it, but it's like so insane. It makes things look plausible, like the storyline,
The
because
storyline's perfectly plausible.
it like starts out with these kids having a party, and then one of them just stands up and decides he's gonna kill everyone. So then he
Sounds like something Josh would
shoots a bunch of people, but there's also a serial killer outside who's watching him kill people, and then the serial killer goes and kills people, but the serial killer is actually like an old man who they keep cutting back and forth to him being in like a mental institution where he's like drooling on himself. And then they cut to him like murdering young people, and like the whole movie is just random scenes of people getting murdered, and it's like the most incoherent stuff I've ever seen. Yeah, man, I forgot about that movie.
Sounds pretty good when you put it like that. Compared to Things.
Not as good as Things. I'll give him that. Things was more of an experience, you know. It was like his nod to Evil Dead.
Not all right.
Jesus Christ.
I will say that
If
Things
it
is not
was,
the
it was
worst
in-
film I've ever seen.
It was up there. It was
What
amongst.
was the worst film you've ever seen?
It's still Severed Ways.
She really hates Severed Ways.
It was, well, at least I could laugh at Things.
Right. Things was hard to even digest because the audio didn't even match the video at all. Like they didn't even actually try. Like
The
they
colors.
got really high one night and were like, we have to ADR the whole film over again. We lost all the audio, and they're like, all right, get as much drugs and alcohol together as possible and let's do this in like 8 hours.
And
And they did it.
I'm pretty
And
sure.
it came out so bad.
I'm pretty sure Chrissy's lost respect for me.
I highly doubt she had anybody.
I mean, yeah, that's a good point. So I guess I'm all right.
I
It
forgot
washes out
you
in the
also
end.
subjected 2 other people to this film as well.
Yeah, I forgot Chloe was even watching. I had no idea.
It's because he's a misogynist.
We had a whole watch party for this movie, and yeah, nobody quit. Everybody stayed through the whole thing, but there was no cheers at the end.
You know what makes
Just
it
silence.
look like you're drinking alcohol,
Whoa.
and it's actually just a monster.
It's actually not worse now?
And he doesn't want to show the label. He's making it look really sketchy. It's a sugar-free Monster can. He's just.
Well, that's what's in it, too.
Let's let me ask you guys this: was it better or worse than you were expecting?
Nah.
Right about on par. You've had me watch some really bad movies. Josh, actually, we used to be roommates. 3 films in a row he suggested to me. We used to kind of trade off. Like, I'd suggest one, we'd watch it, he'd suggest one. 3 films in a row the plot line of the entire film was somebody gets trapped in a pit and there are zombies. Just generally, that's what happened in the movies. 3 of them. He's like, this one's good. This one's really good. It's like, this one takes place in Vietnam. But the whole entire film is they get trapped in a pit and there's zombies, generally. They just exist in this world.
I'm pretty sure one of them...
There's one there, like, Bolivian cartel. They run through the field and they shoot them all. And then they get stuck in a pit. And then everyone comes back to life as a zombie. Yeah!
You might not have liked Pit Zombies, but what about Vietnamese Zombie Pit?
What about Pit Zombies 15, Vietnam? And what was the first one that you really tricked me into?
The first one was Pit Zombies. Because I saw the trailer and I was
called
like,
that?
No.
Okay.
It was some like foreign title, and it looked like a really good movie. And then 5 minutes into it, they fall into a hole.
And then there are just generally zombies around for no reason.
Yep.
What kind of hole is this?
It's like just a pit in the ground. It's worse than you think.
Like the one
It's not even like a. It's just a hole in the ground they get stuck in.
Yep.
One's like a washout, you know, in the terrain,
Yep.
like a place where the water is dug out and there's just no way out of it though. Like it fills with water and then overflows, but they get stuck in
People
it.
float.
And then, well, it doesn't fill while they're in it. That's how it was made, though. You know, like, and like, and then zombies fall in the pit and they have to fight.
Why
them.
are they zombies?
We don't know.
It doesn't matter, Jason. It doesn't matter.
But if you sleep with a bag lady, what do you get?
You get zombies in a
Plastic
pit.
children.
You get zombies in a pit.
You get Pit Zombie. 9,000. The new millennium.
Yeah, so Things was definitely among the worst movies I've ever seen. Definitely up there.
Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of bad movies, most of them horror films, but, you know, Things was kind of like its own genre in a way, because, like, there's bad movies, and then there's movies, like, that are beyond just production issues, where, like, the sound is so bad that
You
it
think
takes
it's
away.
supposed to be a joke.
Yeah,
It looks like it belongs on Adult Swim. like that's how bad and awkward it is to watch. Like the sound doesn't match the video.
Nothing. The evidence is surrounding me, and the weapon's right at the door.
Like their mouth moves, and then it's like yeah, in the corniest, weirdest
You
voice
guys kept
too.
saying it looked like a kung fu dub at the beginning.
Yes, it did. It looked like a foreign dub, but it's all just it's English speakers. It was that bad.
Blood and guts. That's all that's left of her. That's human blood, all right.
It was pretty funny. Yeah, there was like a point for like 5 minutes where you guys kept telling me to mute myself. So I was just listening, and it was like you, Jason, and Chrissy, and you were like, it's like I'm watching a kung fu movie. It's just the worst dubbing, and then Jason said it was like an acid trip with no drugs, which I thought was pretty accurate.
The dubbing was so bad, it didn't seem like it was the lines they were actually originally saying, but it was.
It probably wasn't.
You know, it was more
you
like a
don't think
robo
so?
trip.
How would they not have had the script?
Well, I'm sure.
Just because
only
they
wrote
lost the audio.
Well,
He's like, I also burned the script because I'm so drunk and Canadian. Yeah, like,
Didn't you know that? That's a Canadian tradition. When you finish a movie, you burn the script.
I mean, I did watch Trailer Park Boys, so I know
So
a
you
lot
get
about
it.
Canadian culture.
No. What I was saying is probably because of the kind of film it was, a lot of it was probably ad-libbed. So they probably were just kind of trying to remember what they had said
This
in the
was a
moment.
crap shoot right out of the barrel.
Yeah, you know, kind of film project where you got a boom pole made out of like a umbrella, that kind of stuff.
So we got wrap it up soon. Did you guys see any other films over the past week that you wanted to talk about?
Filmed out for the rest of my life. I can't trust it.
Did you have something on your mind, Jack?
I saw one.
What was it?
It was called The Offering.
Oh, The Offering.
You said you saw it or no?
I did see it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
you've seen them all, but
I saw like the first 2 minutes of that.
I thought it was decent. not bad. In the middle ground.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I'm not big on like possession movies because I feel like they've been done to death. But as far as possession movies go, it was okay. I thought the Jewish-centered aspect of it was unique.
Yeah, like it's like an old Hebrew demon or something.
Yeah,
That was cool.
I thought that was neat
That's,
that
like,
they went
written
instead
into
of
family.
because like the Catholic version is really overplayed, so doing like the rabbi version was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But you can see the twist coming a mile away.
Yeah, it's very yeah.
But yeah,
It was cool. I mean, it was
I
like
like the one character,
Which one?
the badass rabbi guy.
oh no, he's that's honestly
Yeah.
the shining star of the film.
Yeah.
Who's he played by too? It's someone.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
an
weird.
actor that everyone would recognize, but you don't
is
know his name.
Why we need a producer.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Jamie, can you pull that up?
Yeah, he was great though. He doesn't get the reference, which is the most funniest thing ever. But, yeah, no, that was certainly not bad.
No,
You know.
It's not a movie I would recommend, but it's not a movie I would give someone crap for liking. You know?
Right.
It's like right in the middle.
The husband's an airhead, and like his character is kind of infuriating.
Yeah, everything he does at the end, I thought was pretty dumb.
Yeah. It's like you're like, so are you trying to save your family, or
This isn't
are you
how
trying to get him
people
killed?
act.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
anyways, on that note, I
Yeah.
think that's gonna do it for us today.
Next time you see us, we might have a new name and a new setup to the show because we realized that our show sucks. So, yeah, look forward to that coming up to all 5 of you that watch this out there.
I think 3 of them are us.
Yeah. Oh, and our
So
guest
the
star
2
might
other
be a
people.
regular member. So.
And Garrett. Yep, Garrett.
Oh yeah,
Does watch,
and
yeah.
our producer in studio. So, anyways,
Yeah, he
tune
just-
in next time, and thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.